But this is my favorite.
Okay, so we're gonna get started so we can kind of like stay on track and stuff like that. So this next one is appropriate expectations and responses to behavior. This is a supplemental training for child abuse prevention and identification reporting. This is something that came down from headquarters, and it had a suspense date of the 31st of May. So I did tack it onto our annual training so we can say that we did it. Understanding how children develop, learn is a protective factor against child abuse. When we have a solid understanding of child development and appropriate expectations for children's behavior, they are less likely to respond in inappropriate ways. In this training, you will learn about the developmental milestones, typical behaviors, realistic expectations for children, appropriate guidance strategies that support overall relationships. Okay. All of this information is taken directly from VLS, which is where this new training is housed. So we're all professionals for children or youth. We have the responsibility to provide a safe, healthy, and nurturing environment for children to support their learning and development. We play a critical role in keeping children safe from harm by recognizing and preventing child abuse and neglect in our program. This responsibility to keep children safe includes ensuring that our interactions, our responses to children's behavior do not have potential to inflict harm or model aggression. When adults are experiencing stress, lacking support and connection with others, or have unrealistic expectation for children's development and behavior, they are more likely to respond in inappropriate or unsupportive ways. I want you to take a minute. Consider a time when your reaction or your response to the behavior of your own child, or maybe a child in your classroom, wasn't as supportive as it should have been. Think about this moment. Who would like to share what's coming to their brain? What situation? Miss Tony?
To me, there's always going to be a better way you can do the situation.
Sure.
But when you're in the act of when something is happening, you go to your first, you react first, think later. Okay.
Right. No, you're not wrong. 100%. So, do you have a specific situation that we can talk about? No, you want me to?
Yeah.
I can. Okay, I'll give you a prime example. The other night, I was making sure, like, I was putting the little dot thingies because I had to put this thing together because, of course, I bought it on Amazon. And I'm putting it together. I got it together. I put it in my closet because I just needed it out of the way. I put it in my closet. My lovely Bella, we all know, not my favorite, just kidding. Bella comes in and is like, "Where's the cat?" And sometimes my cat gets overwhelmed. She goes in the closet, and I'm like, "Lexi's in my closet. Can I go in your closet?" "Yep, go in my closet. I don't care. Just go." She comes out. "What's this?" "Go put it back. Stop touching my stuff." The look on her face. I felt terrible. It didn't, like, she didn't do anything wrong. She was excited to see something new. It was different, right? And I snapped at her. My reaction to that, she completely shut down, and I immediately saw it. I was like, "Bella, I'm sorry. I mommy didn't mean to yell at you like that. I'm really tired. I still don't feel good. I can't hear, just a little annoyed, but that's for my work. You can totally have it when I'm done with the training on Saturday, because she has this imaginary YouTube channel. And she's like, we can totally play a game with this. And she's like, okay. And I was like, I'm really sorry. Did I hurt your feelings? She's like, yeah. And like, she was just kind of like this. And I was like, can I, and we all know Jennifer's not affectionate, but I was like, can I have a hug? And she was like, not right now. And I was like, oh. I felt really bad. It was just that quick. Right? So to go along with Tony, in the moment, it happens, right? Definitely a teachable moment for me to like, even though I'm not feeling my best, I need to take maybe, Bella, that's for my work. Can you go put that back? Can we talk about it later? You know, could have been as simple as that to avoid that whole thing. Keeping in mind, she's 10, right? Going into that, developmental milestones across the ages. So like she's 10, she knows better than to touch my stuff, right? But still, how I reacted, unnecessary. So as adults, we must be prepared to respond positively and constructively to those milestones. Remember, these milestones tell us what children typically do at certain ages. They are not hard, fast, set in stone rules. Each child develops differently, right? All kids are unique. Individual children will vary a great deal in how they reach those milestones. Typical behaviors like across the ages. So they have it labeled on here like pre-mobile infants, mobile infants, toddlers, and preschool. For us that have our age groups, even floaters can see when you go into these age groups. Can we all agree that's pretty accurate, right? Yeah. So for like the infants, crying to communicate their needs, that's all a baby can do is cry, right? For pre-toddlers, what is it? Mouthing toys, taking toys from others, stranger anxiety. For toddlers, biting, saying no. Everything is mine. Preschoolers, they have very vivid imaginations, fear of the dark, monsters. When they're all, I got this imaginary play friend. No, you don't. That's weird. Tattling on others, telling others what to do. And then we have school age, but we don't have youth center here or anything like that. Pretty accurate. These are all very, very typical that we see. When we have a better understanding of these, of their development and typical behaviors, we can then talk about unrealistic and realistic expectations. And I can't say this first name, and I've been trying so hard, so I'm just gonna say that's Maria. Maria is an infant. She cries all the time. She's spoiled rotten and thinks she needs to be held all the time. We've all thought it before, right? But it's not really realistic. Something more like a more realistic expectation. When Maria cries, she's communicating that she needs something from her caregiver. Declan, a young preschooler, never listens. All the kids are supposed to go inside, wash their hands, sit on the carpet, and pick up a book. What does he do? He stops and plays with the doll. More realistic expectation. Declan does his best with simple directions. With consistent support, he'll eventually learn more complex routines. These kids need to sit cross-legged for the entire group time. Group time is 45 minutes in kindergarten, so they've got to start practicing sitting that long now. More realistic, especially in preschool. Group times are short and sweet. It's a time for us to build community, but we really think of play one-on-one small groups as best as learning opportunities. Caldwell's bossy. He needs to be put in his place. More realistic, Caldwell's learning to express his opinion and ideas. This shows he's confident and comfortable in his environment. Julie and Cassidy talk and giggle nonstop. These two need to be separated. More realistic, okay, their friendship's really important to them. Last, Joseph lied to me about washing his hands. He's completely dishonest. I thought that before in preschool. I'm not even kidding you. Did you wash your hands? Yep. Didn't. We saw you. Can't trust you now. Really? It's common for school age, preschool as well, to lie when they know they did something wrong. This shows that they care what you think of them. Suggestions to ensure that your expectations of children are appropriate. Continue to learn about child development. The more you know about child development, the better you are equipped, so where you're not getting so frustrated at their behaviors or their reactions to things. You want to gather as much information about child development and share it with families, because maybe they don't know. Kids don't come with a manual. As a staff member, spend time observing children within the program or even in like the wider community, just to kind of, compare apples to apples. Remember what you have learned here, and when you get frustrated, many of the behaviors that challenge adults are very typical parts of child development. Ask for help when you need it. The appropriate responses to children's behavior, knowledge of behaviors and acceptable levels of guidance at different developmental stages. Children are less likely to feel frustrated and act out when adults have appropriate expectations. The guidance support to behavior, consider each child's misstep in judgment as an opportunity for learning. I'm sure some of you have heard me talk about like those teachable moments. Use them. It's never appropriate or effective to practice